Casey, Glenn, welcome to Frightfest. How's your experience so far?
Oh, the festival's
The festival's been
festival's
wonderful.
amazing.
Yeah.
Travel has been a ride, but the festival's great.
Oh, good. I'm really pleased. Now, listen. Say something about your early days. I mean, you are in a collective. It's called West of Shake a Rag. Is that right?
Yeah.
What is that? And you've done films before, so explain the whole thing.
So West of Shake Rag is our improv comedy team in Tupelo. We just celebrated our 10-year anniversary about 2 weeks ago. It's us and 3 other people, and that's how we met.
Right.
And I think it was actually doing a scene at West of Shake Rag that Glenn was like, oh, Casey's a good actress. And he was sort of in still the early days of filmmaking at that point. And we started collaborating a little bit here and there. And then it sort of became more cohesive. We met our friend Michael Williams, who's a very, very talented cinematographer. He did the camera work for Driven. And it's like we've sort of been snowballing into building a team over the years. And yeah, Driven is
At the moment, the culmination.
yes.
Yes, because you have done movies before, and I was just wondering, and they do sound like they're in the genre as well, some of them.
Usually.
So why didn't we get to see those, is what I'm asking.
Well, I've been making films since around 2006, and a lot of them were short films, and I don't know, I guess for a long time I would submit them sort of regionally, continue to kind of grow, But with Driven, we submitted.
Because film festival submissions are always sort of like putting money in a slot machine. Like maybe you'll come up a winner, but you might have just pissed some money away, and it's done. You guys were a surprise. Like we submitted and crossed our fingers. Our friend John Norris actually is a producer out of Natchez, Mississippi, suggested that we submit to genre festivals, and we did. And I was very dubious of it. Because I was like, I don't know that horror fans are going to like Driven that much. And then you contacted us. And then I was even more dubious because you were so nice.
He was very nice.
You can ask him.
She thought you were fake. She thought you were.
I was like, this might be like a disgruntled ex-employee, and I'm gonna find out.
I mean, why didn't you think? You've been at Frightfest and you've probably seen some of the other movies. Surely you can see that we are quite a broad church, and we're not just focused on what most people think gore/whatever. You know?
I think Genre Fest in general, with our submissions early on, I don't know. When I was submitting, I don't know. I didn't look at them originally as much. And the films we would make would toggle. There would be dramas and comedy, straight comedies, and some would be horror and thriller. So they kind of bounced around. And you probably fall into the same routine of submitting to similar, festivals. Anyway, I can guarantee we'll be submitting to Frightfest every year now.
Any movie that we make from here on out that has even one scary scene in it, we'll be like, hey, take a look at this family drama on
Families
the
are
farm.
scary.
Yeah.
So listen, where did the idea for Driven come from then? I mean, you say it's a culmination, so tell me where the idea was.
I thought it would be interesting to do a film that took place entirely in or around a single vehicle. I think I saw Tom Hardy in Locke and really enjoyed it.
And you said it would be?
I said it would be really easy. It'll be so easy because it's a single location.
Not.
Which was not. Which was very quickly, though, in my defense, I realized it was a horrible statement.
Well, and I agreed because I was like, oh, it's great. It's one location, but you have to have the car places. So it's like, oh, no, wait, it's like almost 20 locations.
Yeah, so turned into the biggest logistical film that we and I have ever made because it really ended up being like 25 locations, because you want everything to be a certain, very specific way in the background of what you're doing. And
so he had this car movie concept, and then we both had our own ideas of plot lines, and mine was more of a horror comedy, his was more of a horror drama, and we both had to submit each other sample scripts, and we ended up going with more of the comedic angle.
She won, in other words.
I won, yes.
I love your description of it as like Hocus Pocus meets Collateral meets Fallen. I think that's actually perfect.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we spent a lot of time trying to figure out what to compare.
And I'll tell you honestly, the reason when it really clicked in for me, although I was really engaged, the scene I loved, and I think I mentioned it to you in the first email, is when you say, well, what's this, this evil Book of the Dead? And then you wander off and you don't hear anything, and then you come back and the story's finished.
Which is funny because he actually made up full stories, like when we were in the store and everything. There was like a different one in every take. Cheers to Rich. He did a lot of background.
No, sure. I mean, and you're in it, obviously. You're the main star. I mean, it looks difficult. I know it was cold when you made it, right?
Yeah, it's very,
Yes.
very cold. We filmed, so I wanted the whole thing to take place overnight. And originally we thought about having the sunset in the very beginning and then the night.
Oh, right.
But
I think we just lost the sunset.
we just lost the sun.
Yeah,
It got very the first shot was very complicated, and we had to do it like 20 times. But so we were outdoors overnight, working basically like 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
except Richard, who worked within the SAG hours.
Absolutely. And it was the nastiest cold streak. We had ice storms come, and we're from Mississippi in the U.S., and it's supposed to be, it's like 105 there right now.
Prior to 2018, we really hadn't had a proper winter in years.
Yeah.
And we didn't have one last year. It never got really cold.
Yeah, which is great. But then we were filming, the streets were icing over, and we're making a car movie, and the streets are icing over. We actually had one night where it was so bad that our crew was all staying in this really nice cabin
Just outside of town.
just outside town, and they got iced in and couldn't come to work on Richard Speight Jr.
Right.
in the film, his last day. We were going to lose him because he had to be at a convention or something.
We had our DP, Michael, who was staying somewhere different from the rest of them, and then our gaffer,
He just
Greg,
has
who
no
just-
fear. He just
yeah,
drove anyway.
Yeah, he just slid his car down
Yeah.
the driveway and drove into town.
Yeah. But not because
Not at our request.
I think he
That was
wanted
his
like a
decision.
hamburger or something, and he's
Yeah.
like, I'm just going to go.
Yeah.
And then we had a couple volunteers show up because they couldn't work because the weather was so bad they couldn't go to
Yeah,
work.
schools and work
Oh,
and everything
right,
was
I get
canceled
you.
the next
So we
day.
toughed
so
it out
friends,
our last day.
Marley and Tyler
Just show-
contacted us. They were like, "Do you need any help?" We were like, "Yes,
Yes.
get here."
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic! I mean, well, you're Jim in the movie, but
am.
I think the chemistry with Richard, you mentioned it, was
Yeah.
really great. I mean,
Yeah,
the dynamic works, doesn't it? It's really
He's a delight.
Yeah.
I cannot recommend him highly enough to anybody that is looking to hire an actor from LA. He can do like just the balance of the comedy and then the heavier scenes that we had to do. And he's such a superstar worker.
This is a person.
Like
yeah,
I
he
was,
was great.
Yeah, I was
Wonderful.
because he was working the 12-hour days with us. He was just like, "Look, I'm there as long as you're there, so just."
because the tone,
happen.
I mean, is well kept all the way through. That must have been a terrible balancing act for you. I mean, too far, too little. I mean, it must have been difficult.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is a testament to your writing and getting so much of it, because we don't really typically change all that much once we start filming. The story's there,
Yeah.
and the characters are there, and the tone is there.
We'll tweak a line here and there.
And
Yes, I was going to say, because of your improv backgrounds, I mean, did you do that a lot?
Not much.
Yeah.
Every now and then, like at the end of a take, we would let
Yeah.
Rich or me or whoever improvise something. But for the most part, we stuck to the script. And like I said, we might reword a line here and there, but that's that can be
Yeah.
as simple as
yeah, just
oh, it's a
basic.
bad night versus oh, it's a rough night. I mean, just whatever rolls off. I'm not Neil Simon about my script. You don't have to keep it to the letter. Just get the spirit of the line, and we're okay.
You cover a lot of territory with the main concept too, which I really like. I mean, the job, despising it. There's the coming of age. There's the whole demonic thing going on as well. I mean, it's pretty well structured, I think, from that point of view. So I mean, you thought it through.
No, thank you.
We appreciate it.
There's the whole fighting. I don't know if it was something we came up or something that a reviewer or a publicist said, but the fighting internal and external demons. I don't think that was us, was it? And I like that sentiment a lot because I think it goes to what you're saying, the internal demons of the characters and what they're going through and their hardships.
And you've also got the the gay side of it too, the LGBTQ, which is again touching the zeitgeist as we speak, isn't it? So our most popular films here have actually had that, like Spiral, and I think Satanic Panic will as well. But I mean, so it's good that it's now out there in the open and you actually sort of can explore it.
Right.
So I think that's a good thing to have done.
And that was something that was you were interested in having that in this particular story. That just be something that was normal, like not
Right.
even showcasing it.
I mean, it's addressed obviously, but it's not like it does not become an obstacle that
No.
they have to overcome. It's just sort of part of who she
Fair,
is.
yeah.
Yeah, keeping it, sort of normal.